The next company to present was also here last year, SaltX Technology, and they have developed a thermochemical storage that is charged with renewable energy and can be dispatched when needed as steam or electricity. So welcome up on stage. We have with us Carl-Johan Linné, CEO of SaltX Technology.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for having the opportunity to come here and present the SaltX technology company. It's not very often that you are out and making those presentations these days, so it's extra special to be here. I would like to spend 20 minutes on presentation this company and where we are at the moment. Shortly, a few bullet points about us. We are expertise, and the competence, the core competence in our company is actually to store energy within salt. And actually we have a family patent that are actually covering this innovation. It's a nano-coated salt that actually prevent the salt to agglomerate. And that's the key thing. I usually sometimes say that the nano-coating itself, you can compare it with some sort of Gore-Tex material that is actually preventing it to agglomerate. We are the thermal energy storage solution, TESS as we call it, was actually launched in 2017. Before that, the company had a number of other applications, including the salt as a base technology. But since 2019, end of 2018, we are strongly focusing on this thermochemical energy storage application only. So we're putting all our efforts into that one, and all our staff and the competence have been directed into that direction. We think that to be really competitive, we are really focusing on large scale, and that means that we are looking on capacity of more than 10 megawatt hours. You can very well find other applications also for smaller ones, but the main driver is we think big, we think large. And this is something that you maybe know, all of you, but there is a number of key drivers for the energy storage, and there are policies and regulations, and the EU Green Deal is driving the most in ambitious plan towards net zero 2050. Even China have announced that they will be zero emission free year 2016. Meantime, they actually open up a new coal heating factory every week. So it's a little bit of a contradiction. Negative prices for electricity. It usually, someone said before me here that it shouldn't really happen in Sweden, but it does. For the first time in history, 2020, there was a couple of times, maybe 3 times, there was negative prices. And we have all the electricity up in the north, as we know, but there is a shortage of electricity in the south of Sweden. But nevertheless, when you look into the renewables, when you are increasing that capacity, it also naturally follows the need of storage energy. And the expert says that 17% of the renewable energy actually needed in storage capacity. What does that mean? Well, it means that you have to install 100 megawatt storage energy every day until year 2045. And that's a massive potential in the future. And every day that we lose, it's a lost day. We have to catch up again. Bill Gates is funding, and he's talking about the new green era. Bill talks about green cement. He talks about green steel. He talks about all those things that is actually happening now on the market also. So it's certainly in the right niche area. Peak shifting, is nothing secret about that. We want to charge the battery when preferable negative prices, but low prices is okay also. And we want to take out discharge the electricity or the heat when it's actually needed, and that's possible to do. Where would SaltX fit in here? We think that we are in the upper right-hand corner here, which means that we are having the capacity of more than 10 megawatt hours, but also we are not seen as a lithium-ion battery that are charging and discharging every hour or every second hour. We think that we are charging our salt within days, hours is possible also, and then we can actually store the energy for a very long time without losing any energy. It means that it's not sensible, and that's the beauty. That's one of the key takeaway with our technology. So we don't see it ourselves as a competitor to lithium-ion battery. It's more like a complement in the area. We have divided our offer to the market into 3 main groups, and it's actually, one of them is heat to heat. You charge the salt with heat, and you discharge with heat also. And preferable, as we all know, there is a number of waste heat out on the market, and especially on the steel market and the glass market. You have a lot of waste, and if you could use that to charge the salt, would be very beautiful, and that's possible to do with our technology. Power to steam, that's actually the application that we have come furthest with, and we have actually built an installation in Berlin at Vattenfall premises. That was power to steam. We actually charge it with renewable energy, and we discharge it by heat into the Berlin district heating system at the maximum of 120 degrees Celsius. But then we also have the third leg, and that is power to power. And that is also very interesting, of course, if you could come up to a situation where you have a non-sensible storage, load with power, take out power. And here we have a concept that we haven't really built any pilot yet, but we have a concept that looks very promising. We have an efficiency rate of up to 60%, as a matter of fact, and which is quite unique when it comes to this type of storage. This is the way it looks like. It's a quite big installation, since we are thinking large. Installation will also be big. You charge it with heat, gas, electricity, and you can see the charger here is a technology of a falling bed reactor. And you see the discharger, that's the fluidized bed technology in the reactor. And between that you have the silos, which is the charged salt and uncharged salt. Nothing complicated with that. The key is really in the reactor, the moment you charge and you discharge it. And the footprint is not very big, but as you can see from the figure down there, there's a human person down there in the corner. It's quite high. It's a 15 to 20 meter high. And you can take out, and as I said, heat and electricity. You can put the heat into a turbine, take out electricity, and after the turbine you can take the heat into the remote system also, district heating. And this is really a very, very important picture as we see it now, that we have taken a step further ahead since last time you maybe heard about us. We are now not only focusing on the nano-coated salt, the material, we also take the full responsibility of the reactors. So the charging reactor plus the discharging reactor plus the salt will be the energy storage product. And this is very important. The interaction between the material and the reactor is very, very important. And that makes us a sort of a complete supplier, that we have the arms around the whole process, really. And this is a key figure also, key picture that I want you to remember. What is the unique thing with SaltX? Well, first of all, you can say it's a very high density. We have 500 to 600 kilowatt hours per ton salt. If you compare that with water, it's about 10 times bigger. than water. We have independently scalable. What does that mean? Well, it means that you can charge the salt with one power. For instance, if you have some sort of seasonal storage, you can charge it for a very long time. But then you want to maybe have another power when you are discharging it. A couple of 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the winter time when you really need it, you need a higher, quicker output. Transportable, you can actually charge the salt with waste heat in an industry that are otherwise letting the steam out, and transport the salt to another place where you can actually discharge the heat into the district heating system. And you can have it then circular. You go back and over again. It's all natural. There is no bottleneck of the material. It's a lot of calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide out there on the market. And it's robust. Doesn't need to be in stainless steel or anything like that. There's no corrosion. There's no atmosphere pressure. There's no danger at all. No. Looking on the compactness and cost-effective storage, we have, as I said, 500 kilowatt hours per ton in density, and the capex. I mean, we are thinking pretty big here. It's around, if you convert the figure here, 1 million Swedish krona per megawatt hour. And our competitors, molten salt, concrete, lithium-ion battery, hot water tank, are, well, there are pros and cons, of course, with everyone. But the biggest advantage for us is that actually actually this picture, if you go back in time, that is not the situation with other competitors. Milestones. As I mentioned, we have actually taken the step now that we go from a nano-coated salt supplier to a full responsibility of the energy storage installations, in pilot installations. We are building a pilot installations now in Stockholm here, and we have a lot of competence, and we are really focusing on this one now to build up the storage, charging and the discharging and the control system for that, which is very important. And in parallel, we have a number of partners, of course. We have Shangliang boilers in China, we have Inerco in Spain, we have some other things going on. Looking on our commercial roadmap and technical roadmap, we actually started in 2017, as I mentioned. The energy store concept is actually born. We built a container in Stockholm, outside our office in Stockholm. In Berlin, we actually opened up the 0.5 megawatt, 10 megawatt hour energy storage in April 2019. And now we are building this Shanghai. Shangliang boilers are building a new energy storage in Shanghai. And in Stockholm, we are building the 2021 now. It's ongoing as we speak. And to be announced later on this year, there will be another installation in Sweden. So it's step by step, and actually the technology readiness level, it's increasing all the time. We are just before the pre-commercial phase in our development. We are making the pilots. There's no way we need to build the pilot, and there's no way other way and show that the concept is 100% working. So this is a sort of a summary of where we are with the 3 different legs as we have, heat to heat. We have a large pilot. We are planning for a large pilot. Power to steam, we have built the Berlin pilot. We are now optimizing it in Stockholm. And the power to power, we are in the concept phase. We were celebrating yesterday because we actually put in an application almost half a year ago when it comes to the Helsinki Energy Challenge. The major in Helsinki town actually announced a competition who can make Helsinki free of CO2 until year 2035. They actually got more than 250 applications from all over the world. 10 of them came to final. We were one of them that came to final. And yesterday it was announced that we actually won. I'll take the applause later on, so that's okay. It was a lot of competition. There was a lot of learning. Learning curve was very good here. So that was very good for us. 3 legs again. Waste heat. As I said, a lot of waste heat. And actually we need 500, 550 degrees Celsius to load our salt. And we are the only one that have that such a high temperature to be able to do that. So there are a few technologies that can handle this high temperature. Smart cities and industries, we have a solution now that actually has been impressive in the jury in Helsinki, that how should we make cities free of CO2. We have that solution, and we can so clearly see that the demand for large energy storage is there very clearly. And electric grid scale, power to power, is also, of course, there very much. The ecosystem is actually look like this. We work with a salt supplier, Nordkalk, a Finnish company, and we also have Wacker, who's doing the nano coating of the salt, and we actually produce the nano coating salt in Finland. And then we have 2 strong partners. Calix is the one with the charging reactor, an Australian company. We have a signed agreement with them. We also have a signed agreement with Sumitomo Foster Wheeler, a very good, competent company in Finland with Japanese owners. And then we have application partners, and then we are on our way to the market now. The future, how does it look like? Well, I think I mentioned that partly. We are in a phase now where we're actually optimizing the storages, and we are getting on our way now very closely to the pre-commercial pilots. What does it mean with pre-commercial? It actually means that the customer is paying a lot of money for this. So I need to round up now. And the strategic partnership and so on. So we are on our way into a full commercial phase in our development. So remember that we are a sustainable technology solution that could clearly benefit customers, that climate and society. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl-Johan Linnér. You were here last year.
Yes.
What would you say are your key winnings, the most important milestones in this year that has passed in your development, just to see what might reflect on your trajectory for next year?
Of course, Helsinki Challenge was a big milestone for us that we actually got on the top of that one.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But otherwise, I should say that last year, I think I was speaking about the nano-coated material only. Now we have added some added value into it, so we are actually taking care of the reactors also. So the whole process now is a key thing for us, not only the material.
And you mentioned your different legs that you're focusing on, but what would you say is your main focus for 21?
21, the main focus is actually to get the pilots out there, to be installed and tested and up and running, and we are on our way to do that. But I think that, generally speaking, when it comes to this size of energy storage as we are working with, heat is the most important thing. And there will be probably a lot of electricity out there in the future, but there will be a lack of heat and steam actually in the market. And we can see that very clearly, especially in the southern part of Europe, where they have a lot of sun and wind, of course, also. But I think heat will be the key thing. And that's beyond 2021. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Best
Thank
of
you very
luck.
much
Thank you.
for being here.